We're making a keto coffee cake with peaches. Come on. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're testing a single recipe from a single recipe creator. It's not something I often do here, but something I wanted to do today. Today we're making a Keto Peach Coffee Cake from Carolyn Ketchum from All Day I Dream About Food. Now, you couldn't have been in this keto or low carb world for long and not know of her and her books and her website. Her Ultimate Guide to Keto Baking is sort of like the Rosetta Stone truly for keto baking. All of her recipes I've ever tried over the years are just bangers. They always work. And she is known, obviously, in this community as being one of the heavy hitters. She's also been on a lot of our minds lately, so today I wanted to send a little electronic love through YouTube her way to hold space for her, I guess, as the cool kids would say these days, and do something that I saw on her Facebook page recently, and that's her Keto Peach Coffee Cake. Now, peaches, keto, those words don't seem to go together, and I would have kind of thought that same thing, but she even brings up the point that pound for pound, like 100-gram serving of peaches actually has less carbs than a 100-gram serving of blueberries, which we often think of as being perfectly keto as long as you can control your portion sizes. So today we're going to tackle that. We're going to make the Keto Peach Coffee Cake. I'm going to please invite you to go to her website. It's going to be here on the screen. It's going to be in the video description below. She has a lot of fantastic books, but she puts out a lot of wonderful recipes completely for free. I'm going to invite you to please go to her website, follow along as we make this, and I hope you'll join me as we make Carolyn Ketchum's Keto Peach Coffee Cake. Come on. All right, so let's get started on this recipe. We're going to start, there are actually two, maybe three parts to this. The first part is the crumb topping. And this is going to start with some almond flour. And I've just got a medium bowl here. And we're just going to sift this out. She doesn't say to sift it, but y'all know me. I just got, sift y'all. So I'm going to sift this out through here. And we are actually also going to add in a little bit of coconut flour. It's not much. Again, if you've been here any length of time, you know I don't give exact measurements to these recipes. I'm just here to test them. The people that did do the hard work, in this case Carolyn, she deserves the traffic, so I'm going to invite you to please go to her website, follow along. It's one click away, and if that's too difficult, just go to the internet and type in All Day I Dream About Food Keto Peach Coffee Cake. It'll be the first result. All right, so we've got our two flours mixed and ready to go. We're going to add in a little bit of salt and just whisk this up, make sure all of this is combined. And we're going to add in also some brown sugar sweetener substitute. I'm using Swerve. In her recipe says she's using her own brown sugar replacement that she makes. I'm not that clever. So I'm just too lazy actually. So I'm using Swerve. So just use whatever you want to here. Make sure all this is combined. And to this, we're going to add in a little bit of melted butter to this. Melted unsalted butter. And we're just going to combine this until it sort of gets clumpy, and then we're just going to put it aside. Now, while I'm stirring this, I also just want to let you know, Carolyn is a fantastic recipe creator. She's also a fantastic food photographer. The photo of this, just take a look at it here, is get a good gander at that, because mine ain't gonna be that pretty. I can guarantee you that. I would be remiss not to say she has a brand new book coming out. I'll leave a link to it as well. It's a high protein cookbook, Protein Advantage, and I encourage you please to pre-order that. I have had the chance to take a look at an advanced copy, and it is fantastic, and I'm super excited to try a lot of the recipes in there. So, all right, I'm just going to put this to the side, and we're going to move on to the actual batter of the cake. All right, let me get cleaned up. Meet you right back here. All right, so now it's time to get started on the main portion of this, the cake batter of this coffee cake. And that just also let me to tell you, we've made a lot of coffee cakes on this channel before. I'll leave some links up in the video, up in the corner up here. Invariably in the comments, someone always says, there's no coffee in this coffee cake. Well, here in the United States, at least, coffee cake does not have coffee in it. It means a cake that you serve with coffee for a breakfast or a snack, or I guess you might say tea time. I don't know why that is. Don't ask me. I'm not a food historian, but coffee cake in the US at least doesn't have coffee, so you're not going to find that here. So now it's time to get started on the batter of this. But before we do, I just want to give a quick thank you to the sponsor of this video, Thrive Market. Thrive Market is an online membership-based grocery store on a mission to make healthy living easy and affordable for everybody. You can search their catalog of thousands of name brand products and sort them by the values that matter most to you. Now, for me and for us, that's probably going to be low carb and keto, but it could be vegan, organic, paleo, non-GMO, BPA free, whatever matters most to you. You can sort their catalog by those values. Now, like a lot of big box discount stores, there is a membership fee to join Thrive Market. They've got a couple of options. You can go month to month just to try it out and see if that's going to work for you. Or you can do like I do and get the year program. It gets down the price down to around $5 a month. And I know I'm going to at least save $5 a month. In fact, I just placed my last order and I was kind of shocked. I've been a member for a while. I've been a member since 2016, and they let you know how much you've saved in that time. And in that time, I'm going to put it down here on the screen, I've saved over $857, not spent, saved $857. I have diverted over 28.5 pounds of waste from landfills and have reduced my net carbon footprint by 97 pounds. So when I tell you there are savings to be had, there definitely are. Just check my comments below and you'll see lots of people who are Thrive members. They have a great deal for viewers of my channel right now. If you will go to thrivemarket.com/highfalutin low carb, you will get 30% off your first order and a free gift valued at up to $60. So thank you, Thrive, for sponsoring this video. It's sponsorships like yours that keep channels like mine on the air, and for that I'm truly appreciative. So guys, if you want to support me, go support them. Go to thrivemarket.com/highfalutin low carb. You're going to get 30% off of that first order and a free gift valued at up to $60. Okay, so we are going to start again with the almond flour. I'm going to sift this out. And to this, we're going to add a couple of things. We're going to add in some coconut flour. Again, if you want to know how much, you know where the recipe is. We're going to add in some unflavored whey protein powder. She said you can use some other protein powders as well, like some egg white protein powder, but I happen to use and have and enjoy unflavored whey protein. The reason for that is gluten in baked goods. Gluten is a protein, and that sort of holds baked goods together. So adding a little protein through the use of a protein powder like that in a baked good actually helps improve the texture of the final product. To this, we're going to add in quite a bit of baking powder and a little bit of salt. And I'm just going to sift this out. Okay, so let's get a whisk on this and just sort of incorporate all of this. We're also going to add in a granulated sugar substitute, a granulated sweetener. I'm using the Splenda Magic Baker. That is a blend of allulose and erythritol. She specifically says if you're going to use an allulose-based sweetener to oven's preheated. She specifically says if you're going to use an allulose-based sweetener to make sure you keep an eye on it in the oven. Allulose tends to brown a lot quicker than erythritol or some other sweetener alternatives, but I do enjoy the taste of that product, and so I'll just keep my eye on it pretty well. All right, so now that we've got our dry ingredients ready to go, we're going to add in some liquid ingredients, and the first of that is going to be eggs, a couple of eggs, and it calls for a little bit of vanilla. And so I don't know why I do this, but I like to add my vanilla to my eggs. It just kind of, I feel like, helps spread it out a little more. And that was the last of that vanilla. It was like it was meant to be. The universe was looking out for us. So give this quick little scramble. In that goes. And then the last ingredient is a little bit of melted butter. As we start to mix this together, we're going to add in just a little bit of water, about a half a cup of water to this, until our batter is nice and combined and ready to go in the pan. So I'm going to do that now, speed it up, and I'll meet you back here in just a sec. Now it's time to put this in the pan, and this is where Carolyn, if she happens to ever watch this, she's going to turn the video off right now, because she says to put this in a 9x9 metal baking pan. And she has put many posts up, and part of her keto baking guide is adamant about using metal pans to bake in and not glass because they come out differently. Well, I was all ready to go and have my USA baking pan that I even learned from Carolyn about that brand of pan, and it's 8x8. And I saw in some of her comments people said that they had used smaller pans and it had overflowed. One of them was a 9-inch round, which is actually smaller than a 9x9 square. So My point is I'm going to use a 9x9 glass pan. So Carolyn, I'm sorry, I apologize now. I don't know whether to risk putting it in the smaller 8x8 and risk it coming out the top, or if I should put it in this. Maybe I should have put it in a cast iron skillet. I don't know. But please don't hold that against me. Whoever is watching, we're just going to hope for the best, and I will keep an eye on this so that it doesn't get too brown on the bottom, I hope. So put this batter in a pan. Use a metal pan, please. Get out of the way. And we're just going to spread this out. And this darn pan don't even have straight sides on the side of it. So we really just, I don't know what we're doing here. I bet it'll come out all right though. Sometimes cooking's just making do with what you got. To this, on top of here, before we add our topping, which I've got our topping ready to go, before I wash my hands, I'm going to sprinkle in, these are our peaches. She said 2 medium peaches, and I don't know what constitutes medium versus large. It seems like a lot of peaches. This is 2. They were about that size there, and they were local peaches, and they're nice and ripe, and that's the point of this. She specifically says these need to be very ripe peaches because we're only using a small amount of them, and you want to get as much peach flavor as possible, and you only do that with a ripe peach. So if you've got some that are kind of firm, give them a day or 2 on the counter or on the windowsill just to ripen up a little extra. She also said you can use frozen peaches. You just want to make sure that they are thawed and that they are strained well to get out any liquid, extra liquid. You don't want that on top. All right, so now we're going to add in our crumb topping, and I just want to say, you'll notice that my peaches still have their skins on them, the peeling. She said you can peel them. I even read this in her recipe. You can peel them, but she doesn't. So in honor of making this as close to the way Carolyn would make it, I didn't peel it, even though I probably would if I had not read that. But I love a peach regardless, so probably can't go wrong with it. But we're going to make it like Carolyn does, except we're making it in a glass pan. Sorry. All right, spread this on top. All right, so this is ready to go in the oven, and this goes in for 325. Is that what it is? 325? That's what I got it on? Yeah, 325 degrees for 40 to 45 minutes until it's nice and golden brown, firm to the touch. I'm going to keep an eye on it because the allulose sweetener that I use, it might get too brown on the top. I use a glass pan, so it might get too brown on the bottom. So that's a lot of caveats, but I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'll meet you back here. It's got to cool completely before we even move forward to test it. And she also gives a little recipe for some drizzle on the top with just some powdered sweetener and water, and it looks pretty good. So I'll probably do that. So in just a few seconds, but it'll be about a couple hours to me. So I'll meet you back here in 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, guys, welcome back. It's been a couple of hours. As you can see, I think it turned out nicely. This is my version, at least, of Carolyn's Keto Peach Coffee Cake. Seems to have held up pretty well, even though I did use a glass pan. So from here, we're going to make a little bit of the drizzle that she said, just because it looked nice on hers. And I've got a 1/4 cup of powdered sweetener here, and I hope I don't. I'm just going to add some water to it little by little. I'm just trying to get something to a drizzling consistency. Now, we're supposed to get 16 slices out of this if you're going to keep it in the macros that probably most of us that are eating keto would want to do. So, but you know me, I'm not really great at dividing up servings like this. So I'm just going to come in here and make a rough cut because I'm going to actually cut a slice for my thumbnail. It's probably going to be a little too big is what I'm trying to get at. Before I taste this, let's talk about nutrition. Obviously, this is much larger slice, but I'm going to use this as my thumbnail photo. So if you get 16 slices out of this cake, one slice is 173 calories. You've got 5.9 grams of protein. You've got 14 grams of fat, 6.5 grams of total carbs, 2.5 grams of fiber. So that's 4 grams of net carbs per serving. So again, that fits in macros fairly well as long as you're judicious with your serving size. This is not the case here. So, all right, so let me taste this. This looks delicious. So peachy, bright, summery, sweet, moist. I'll see you in a minute. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. All day long. Fantastic. Would be great with honestly any type of fruit that happens to be in season at the time, as long as you are judicious and do the math and check your carb counts on that. I think that would be, that base recipe would good with anything, but the peaches really just totally sing. You know, I say often on this channel that food is sort of a love language for many of us. There's nothing better than sharing a meal or some delicious food with somebody you love or a wonderful friend. And if you don't have them here with you to do so, sometimes the best thing you can do is to cook their favorite recipe in their honor, or better yet, cook one of their recipes to relive those memories of a grandmother or a mother or a family member or a friend. Cook their favorite thing that they used to love if you're not able to be with them. And so today I'd like to think that Carolyn, even though we're colleagues, that I would call her friend. I hope that in some small way this has honored her and sent her a little bit of love. So I'm going to ask you to please do the same. Go to her website at All Day I Dream About Food. Go check out all of her free recipes. She's got some wonderful books out there if you're so inclined to do that. Find her Facebook, go find her Instagram, tell her that Wes sent you, and also go check out my Facebook and Instagram. I talk a little more frequently and a little more freely in both of those places. So go share the love with both of us there. So yeah, thank you so much. I say this every time. These videos are a way for me to maintain my low carb way of eating, and looking at the end of that camera as often as I can helps keep me honest. So I appreciate that you guys have come along for the journey. Be sure that you hit the like button down below. Also make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell button. That'll let you know just as soon as I release a new video. Both of those things are free to do, don't cost you anything, but they let the algorithm know that this is a video that other people might enjoy as well. So YouTube will hopefully share that with them. And lastly, my rock stars. You're going to see their names already scrolling over here. These are my Patreon members. If you don't know what Patreon is, think of it as the tip jar for the internet. It lets people like you who enjoy what people like me do here on YouTube. You can give $1 or $2 a month just to keep the train on the tracks, and you get to see your name over here among my other rock stars. So with that said, I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, today is a great day to have a great day.